Hello and welcome to Easy Stories in English, the show that will take your English from okay to good and from good to great. I am Ariel Goodbody, your host for this show. Today, I want to talk to you about learning languages. Specifically, you can't know every word. When we learn a language, we are usually perfectionists. Often we are perfectionists. We want to be perfect. We want to know everything. We want to be able to read a newspaper, read a novel, watch a TV show, talk fluently. We want everything. And specifically, we want to know every word. Well, there are a few problems with that. One, there are a lot of words. In English, there are millions of words. I am a native speaker and I do not know all of the words. And that's okay. I know the words that I need. I know the words that are useful. And that's the really important thing. What is useful and what is the context? So the second thing I want to talk about is context. Context is important. We need to learn words when they appear, not thinking ahead. Don't think, I will need this, because then you are always worrying about words. For example, a few days ago, the other day, I had a class with a student and we were writing a story. And in the story, there was a sunset. So a sunset is when the sun goes down. Now I said, okay, so the sun set, and the student said, I don't know that word, when the sun goes up. Now, that is a sunrise. But I said to the student, you don't know that word, or maybe you don't remember that word, but do you need it right now? And of course, the answer was no, because in the story, there was no sunrise. So why is it bad to think in this way? Why should we not think about related words? Well, one thing is that our brain, our head, it doesn't work that way. Our brain works by context, and language especially works by context. For example, if you are playing video games or brushing your hair or dancing, you are not thinking about the words knife and fork. Yeah, you use a knife and fork to cut food. So those words are not linked, they are not related to what you are doing. So in those situations, it takes longer, it takes more time for your brain to find those words. And that's for everyone, even native speakers. There are psychological studies where they put electrodes, like electronic computers, in people's brains, and they say certain words. And words that are linked to the context, to what is happening, those words the brain understands and can produce more quickly. Okay? So when I talk about a sunset and in the story there is no sunrise, it takes longer for your brain to remember. Our brain is not a dictionary, okay? Our brain does not have just a list of words. It is much more complicated than that. Another reason I think it is bad to worry like that is that it's distracting. It makes you think of something else. If you are reading a book and you stop and think, oh, I don't know that word, that word, that word, you are not reading. And the more you read, the more words you will know. So really, it's just taking time that you can use to learn better. Finally, I want to talk about what words are useful, okay? Because often when we learn a language, we think we need to know every word to communicate. It's really not true. Tell me if this happened to you. You were in school, you were in an English class or maybe a French or a German class, and they said, okay, class, today we are learning about your pencil case. So this is your pencil case. Inside the pencil case, you have pens, you have rubbers, you have sharpeners, you have whatever. It's not interesting. It's not important. How often in real life do you talk about a sharpener? How often do you talk about a rubber? Not very often. It's not important or useful language. And again, there is no context. We are just learning these words. Maybe later in the class, you want a rubber. So you ask for a rubber. Or the teacher says, does anyone want a rubber? Then it is contextual. That is a real context. That is real communication. Okay? I will put my pencil case away. Because I am a teacher, I have a lot. I have 2 pencil cases and I have a lot of things in my pencil case. I want to finish by giving you an example. So I speak Spanish and I learned Spanish purely, only through reading books and listening to podcasts and watching TV shows. I did not study Spanish in school. I did not use grammar books. I just learned it the natural way. Now, maybe 1 or 2 years after I started learning Spanish, I was maybe intermediate, high intermediate. I could communicate pretty well. And I thought that I knew the word for carrot. So a carrot is that vegetable, the orange vegetable. I thought it was carota because in other languages like French, it's carotte. So I just thought it was that. But one day I was reading and I saw the word zanahoria. What? What's zanahoria? Strange. It sounds very strange. So I looked up the word and it meant carrot. And I thought, wow, that's a strange word. But clearly that word was not that important because I could communicate without knowing the word carrot. I could go to Spain, I could talk to people, I could discuss, I could argue. And I didn't know that word and it wasn't important. But probably if you learn a language in school, you learn the word carrot very early on because you have a class about fruits and vegetables and food. This is another problem. Language classes in schools, they have topics: food, school, work, hobbies. That's not real. In real life, all of those things mix together. And that's why real life is more fun than a normal language class. So, don't think about the words you don't know. You can't know every word. Just focus, just think about the context in front of you. Because remember, when you have a conversation, it's two-way. It's not just you talking, them talking. When you are talking, the other person is listening and thinking. And when they are talking, you are listening and thinking. So if you stop the conversation to say, oh, what's that word? What's that word? Or if the person is talking and you are thinking, oh, what's a carrot in Spanish? It's not very fun. It's not normal. It's not nice, friendly communication. So this advice might also help you make some friends in English or whatever language you are learning. So, thank you for watching. Remember, you can listen to the podcast Easy Stories in English at easystoriesinenglish.com. Also, if you liked this video and you want more advice, more help about learning languages, go to easystoriesinenglish.com/email. There you can sign up, you can write your name, you can subscribe to my newsletter. So every week, once per week on Friday, I send an email with useful advice, useful helps and tips on learning languages. Thanks again for watching and see you soon.